participant, and I think today we can start. And now will be the moderator for our guest lecture program. And Professor Park, will you use your computer to share screen, or you need us to help you?
Is it okay? I use my computer
Yes, yes, of
to
course.
update it a
Yes,
little bit.
yes, of course. It's okay. Okay. So, Miss Ratna, you may start now.
Thank you, Rata.
Yeah.
Oke, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Honorable the
warahmatullahi
head of the study program in law, Faculty of Law, Universitas Islam Indonesia, Pak Dodik, and the Honorable also Prof. Park Ji-hyun from Yongsan University, South Korea. Good night, Prof. Although, in Korea right now already, if I'm not mistaken, 8 p.m. Is it right?
Yeah, 8:30. Yeah.
8:30. I see. Okay, nice to see you, Prof. Park, and then all of the participants in this evening agenda. Thank you, and also for Prof. Park, who already joining us and would like to share information and lecturing us. 감사합니다, Prof.
감사합니다.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, all of the participants in this evening lecture, the recent AI development has been characterized by rapid acceleration, particularly in generative AI. And through integration into everyday workflows, AI right now already developed significantly through Copilot and autonomous agent, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe later on, Prof. would like to share more about it. And in the rapid development of AI has amplified concerns regarding AI safety, ethics, and social impact, as well as regulation. And then the unmanned aerial entities, or UAEs, or also in Indonesia, it is well known as drones. That are complex and rapidly evolving, especially concerned about the accountability, the privacy, and also the international humanitarian law. And without further ado, the more explanations about the legal aspect of AI controlled UAE will be delivered by Prof. Park Ji-hyun. And in Indonesia itself, right now, Indonesia is actively developing and also procuring the UAE, also known as unmanned aerial vehicles or drones, for both military and civilian applications. So, you have around 60 minutes to explain, and we will continue to the Q&A sessions. And for all of the students who would like to deliver question, please do not hesitate to deliver your question through chat box in this Zoom meeting. I think the screen is yours, Prof. Please.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Dodik and Prof. Ratna. Is it correct pronunciation?
Correct, Ratna.
Okay, for introducing me nicely, and it must be quite tiring for a student to take all the classes, and after they also have an extra class. But it seems like UEE University considers all of students genuinely intelligent and eager to study more.
You.
So that's my impression from all the
Thank you,
UEE students So they are the top students from Indonesia and doing very well in Korea also. Thank you for having me and sending UE student to Korea too. Will be the good bridge between Indonesia and Korea. Recently, this week, I went to Seoul. Next month we'll have one international conference in Busan. It's about the nuclear export, nuclear power station export. Korea is making nuclear power station and or other factors relating to that. And Indonesia is one of the country expecting to adopting nuclear power station in the future. So I met many students and technician from Indonesia at that place. So if I have a chance later, we'll be talking about that too. The participants are from U.S., mostly Westinghouse, and also from Trump administration, talking about the non-proliferation of the nuclear power. But if Indonesia adopts nuclear power station, there will be a big issue in Indonesia. So in a couple of years, will be the hard issue. So later on, if we have time, we'll talk about that. Let me share my screen for the today's issue. Okay, hold on a second. Let me. Is it sharing properly?
Yes, yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Let me make
Yes,
it
yes.
bigger. So is
Yeah.
it okay? Yeah. Okay. So let me start with the first screen. Okay. Since my screen is here, my paper is here a little bit different. Let me move to here. Is it also okay for you to see? It's a different. Okay. Let's move the screen to different screen. Maybe take a one screen off. Okay. Hold on a second. Now you're okay, right?
I
You're
think
okay.
it's off now. You
Okay,
can
let me,
restart.
yeah. Let me restart with the new screen. It'll be okay. I cut off the bigger screen. So now
Mhm.
you're okay,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So because my eye contact is different with the two screens away.
Yeah.
Okay, now I start with the my screen here, but I like to share with a smaller version, right?
Mhm.
Maybe this is a proper for you. Is it okay? And then I control with the yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I will go with the legal aspect of AI control the UAE, but here the definition will go with the will go later. Because the definition of unmanned area something has been many areas in different definitions. So I'll go over that. There is no set definition on the UAE. Besides, many countries don't have any law relating to the unmanned area, vehicle, or entity. So you might expect this topic can be empty in some countries. Okay? And if you see the first screen, you will see you are watching it from up from to very ground setting. In a sense, you see down from the aerial position, right? This is how the drone sees the object. And I like to go with this is me. Later, I will share my information again. So thinking about what is AI, as Ratna before mentioned how AI is affecting our life these days. So we use, as soon as we wake up, before we wake up, we use the cell phone to have alarm. So we wake up and then we'll have a maybe music, or we ask, genuinely, I ask, what's the weather today? That's the first question to my AI. And AI answer me, yeah, something like today it will be rainy. You might want to have a raincoat. And that's the advice from uh, Gemini 3.0. So AI use is a very typical awakening moment of our life. And then we listen music. Usually our family members have a music on as soon as wake up. And then we go places to work, and the traffic lights are all controlled by AI system by the government. And we also have a clock setting my heartbeat and health uh, condition heavily rely on the AI to check my heartbeat and other health condition, right? And then also, uh, police, they use or the system track down the criminals and any symptoms. Uh, if they have any person to help, they check whether this person is a criminal or not. Also, they check whether this person need help or not using the machine. And that's a typical way of we using the AI. And we have to think where this AI system came from, because uh, AI, artificial intelligence, has been developed with a coding, which is a computer system. However, it combined with the mathematics, first used in the military and open to the public. So going back to question, how AI is going to be developed for not civilian, for the government perspective, they're all thinking about how we are going to use AI to make our country bigger and powerful. And one of the areas they are aiming to use AI is military. And we are going to see how the military over this AI is going to be used and has been developed, all those. Okay. And before we go that, there are so many worries over AI. So this is a survey result. And how do you think about AI? What's the concern over AI? And these are the results. So first thing first, so the worries the most is a damage to the information integrity. So if AI might have a wrong information, so that's the big worry. Also, intentional use of AI in armed conflict by state actors, meaning the military personnel use AI intentionally to do something. So people concerned about autonomous weapons, and we are going to talk about autonomous weapons later on, because autonomous weapon can be placed inside of unmanned aircraft. So we are going to talk about that. And third concern is inequality arising from differential control and ownership over AI technology. And what I want to talk about this particular concern is that many times AI make mistakes. So AI so far has developed using specific computer system and CPA, GPA, they has been used to develop AI. However, this technology is not 100% or developed. It's not developed fully enough to correct all mistakes. So that is why one occasion, the Black woman could not pass certain research. So she tried to wear white mask. And this time, research outcome came correct. So she said, there's something wrong with this machine. How the machine recognizes black and white facial color. And that has been the concern over Amazon and also the Google. And they're still developing these errors, but these errors are not fully corrected yet. So this is also concern. And number 4, intentional malicious use of AI by non-state actors. This is also terrorist perspective, also military perspective, crime perspective. This is a very important part of it. So non-state actors means state actors are government entity. Non-state actors include terrorists and criminals, even individuals who can use AI intentionally in wrong way. Okay. And number 5 is a discrimination. Actually, this discrimination goes with the third concern we had it together. So there is a AI bias they have been using. In Apple Card, you might use it in daily life. Apple Card rejected more female than male because AI also had a gender issue bias. Apricot could not solve fully either, so they are developing how they can solve this bias problem of discrimination. Since we are putting information to AI, AI also has a very similar bias and mistake that human make, right? So this is also developing. Number 6 is intentional use of AI by state actor that harms individual. So this is a surveillance problem. You might have seen a documentary from Netflix that on the street, governments are collecting information. One of my hobby is actually watching CCTV. You can watch CCTV over Korea from Indonesia very easily. You can just type the neighbor and they shows the weather. In the weather site, there is a CCTV. You can click any of the city, including Seoul, Busan, or any of the other local street. You can click, you can see what's going on that street. That's how much CCTVs are placed in Korea. I can easily access to any of the island in Korea to see how's the weather, what's the people, how the people are moving there, traffic jams. I can all see it. That's the concern. And human rights violation, let me pass a little bit. So these are the intellectual property also concern, environmental harm. One of the things that the nuclear power stations are now booming is because of the electricity. There are lack of electricity in many countries, including there are like blackouts in in European countries because of the data centers. And one of the incident also happened in Korea. And since we have a nuclear power stations, they generate more electricity to cut that problem. And many of the companies are moving down to Ulsan and Busan because of the most of the nuclear power stations are located downwards of the Korea. And that's also AI related problems. Later on, we can talk about any of the concerns you might have with the AI. So here, our main concern is how AI is going to be moved forward in the future, and what's the regulation so far. And here's another survey. Are you worried about the killer robot can suddenly attack you? There was an incident in China that robot attacked the person in a factory, and the person could not move because the robot was so strong. And this one is a little bit different because this killer war robot means that robot is meant to kill only combatant. But here, killer war robot can also attack civilian if they don't have a proper programming in that they cannot recognize whether the person is a civilian or combatant. How do you distinguish military personnel to civilian? One way is a uniform. Second way is having weapons like it can be knife, it can be gun, military gun, right? Sometimes combatants take off their uniform, wear civilian clothes, right? So the killer robots can mistakenly thinking the person is still the combatant, so attacking that person. And then later on, also the combatant, this war robot can attack civilian. So this is a kind of worries and also happening in practice. And survey comes, the many of the countries worry about killer war robot have a should not be in the market. South Korea rejected 74% of the Korean citizens says no to the killer war robots. Germany 72. The average is a 61%, but slowly. This is a survey conducted in 2024 spring. And I'm not sure whether any of the country 100% go for the killer war robot. We want to be the strongest country. I'm not sure, but there are countries. If you see the Brazil, only 46% of the citizen objected killer war robot. Means 54% of the citizen agreed on having killer robot. Means that they want to control the world using certain killer war robot. So they don't care whether killer robot has a problem or not, or I don't know what's the reason they agreed, but I can expect that maybe they don't have the full information. I'm not either sure why the South Korean not agreed on having killer war robot. So let's see. After this whole presentation, I want you to have your opinion and what is your position on killer war robots, right? Okay. So here is a let me show a little bit full scale. Okay. Okay. So unmanned area entity, when we said there are many vocabularies relating to that. Unmanned aerial vehicle, which is called UAV, and unmanned aircraft system, UAS, and NASA calls ROAS, which is remotely operated aircraft. This is what the definition the NASA use. And also we use drone, right? Drone also has a little bit of a different setting, whether this is small drone or medium-sized drone, big drone. Now drone is the same size as a aircraft. So we have to make distinction among them. But same character is this one has aircraft. If you see it here, aircraft, there should be ground control station, which is also called the GCS, and communication link between the aircraft to me and payloads, which is something inside of aircraft or on the aircraft. Sometimes you see that you deliver pizza using drone, right? This payload means at that point is a pizza is a payload. Sometimes if you think about it, this aircraft can have some kind of chemical. This aircraft can have poison. This aircraft can have nuclear weapons. That's payload. So if you think about UAE, you have to think about four things. First, aircraft itself, and something on top of it or inside, that's payload, and ground control station, and the linking communication link between them. So if they have four elements, which we call it UAE. Okay. It can be UAV, UAS, ROAS, drones all together. It's all same. The purpose of UAE is at the bottom. You see it: surveillance, rescue, small-scale bombing, and target attacks. So this has been the use of, in its way, drone. What's the problem? Drone help me to have a pizza. Drone help me to have quick delivery. When I went to China, it is so normal to have a drone delivery. I had a drone delivery in a hotel. In China, it was like a daily life to have a drone delivery. I was kind of shocked to have advanced level of unmanned aerial aircraft used in daily life, but it was rare. So in a civil sense, in a daily life, you can also use aerial aircraft for your practical use in a daily life. Right? So this is a definition. The problem is, what if the communication disrupted and aircraft start attacking me? And what if the AI use their own intelligence starting to attack me without my command? Is there a problem? And what if the drone is fully armed, start using their brain to attack something? And the number 4 is a little bit different, but you can think about maybe a civilian, because we can make a 3D printing drone. You have a 3D printing, right? The making drone, although it takes a lot of time to 3D printing the elements of drone, you can 100% make drone using 3D printing. You don't necessarily to have a certain certificate to have a drone. this printing machine can make a drone. So in near future, everybody can make their own drone. In that case, civilian is using a drone to carry out attack. For a scenario like South Korean using a drone when North Korea is attacking someone, and we, as a civilian, we starts making all kind of drone to fight back. Maybe other countries are attacking very near territory of the edge of the Korea, and then civilians are start making drone. It happened in Ukraine, right? Ukraine citizens, they started making drones and fight back against Russia. This actually happened. So this is problem scenario. You can think about it. And later, I'll be giving you some of the theories connecting to that. You might think about so how do I solve this problem? Okay. So these are the scenarios we can think about it. So talking about the definition, I'd like to just point this out briefly, and we go to the power of the how we are going to use UAV or UAE in a military sense, and then what's the problem. Let me give you one this case. This happened in 2014. This is the first case in the United States. They had a confusion over drone, whether this is an aircraft or not. So is a drone aircraft or drone not an aircraft? And this case solved that question. The incident in 2011, it ended in 2014. The Switzerland entrepreneur liked to film the University of Virginia campus, and then he wanted to use it in advertisement. And Federal Aviation Administration in America imposed $10,000 fine for this act because the entrepreneur used a very small drone. This Switzerland company didn't think they need a permit, but FAA apparently requires permit to take a picture over the campus. So this fine became the problem, and U.S. National Transportation Safety Board, which is NTSB, overturned this fine, arguing that in 2011, FAA didn't have any definition included in the aircraft small airplane, which is a drone-like airplane, is not part of a definition included in FAA. So FAA doesn't have any legal authority to give a fine. That means, when we have like a small robot, or children's make a small model aircraft, right? And thinking about that is very similar to making a drone, because drone becomes very popular. Nowadays, we have a very small model aircraft, and which is connected to camera. If we use this camera to take a picture over the University of Virginia, whether Federal Aviation Administration of the U.S. can contact the person individually asking for the permit. And that was a question. And this case solved the problem. At the FAA FAA changed the regulation, making any size of the aircraft is a commercial aircraft. So you need a permit. You need a permit when you use drone or small model aircraft. So even if maybe your children or your nephew use a model aircraft, that can be subject to the fine if you don't get the permit over certain places. So this became the big issue in 2011. After that, any of the drones need a control within the scope of FAA. So the controversy settled. Now everything goes to the FAA, this Federal Aviation Administration (FAA) to get the permit when you do something with drone, right? This is the first question, and if you are interested, international regulation also have a civil aviation has a definition. Aircraft is any machine that derives its lift from the reaction of air against it, other than reaction of air against the earth. So unless it is a missile, it is a aircraft. Aircraft and missile is a little bit different because the reaction of air against the earth, it is going up. This is a missile, and the air against the reaction of air, it is called aircraft. So this is so far a definition of aircraft. So the drone is a part of aircraft now, and this is also definition relating which law applies, and we think about it. Domestic law is, of course, the one it applies, and extra plus domestic law, conventional international civil aviation is applied to any of the drones or aircraft crossing the border. So it is settled. Now, aircraft crossing the border is regulated by the International Civil Aviation. And if that is inside of the territory, the domestic law applies, right? So from there, we see this is now weapons. We are talking about it. And I'm not sure it's going to be running. The video is not going to run. Okay, so this is I just wanted to show you. Do you see this flag, Indonesian flag? The Indonesia and Korea has been developing. Here you see the Kai Korean flag and Indonesia flag here. The K-21 has been developed together in southern part of the South Korea, and still the deal is ongoing. Just make sure. I wanted to have a video, but it's okay. This is Indonesia Air Force and Navy having a weapon relating to drones. You have in Air Force CH-4B from China, 6 units. This is the Indonesian Air Force having 4 units from Israel, 4 units from another Eurostar Tactical, this one, from Israel, 4 units. And from France, you also have a 4 units. This is the model number. And you can see many of the drones are part of your Indonesian territory, keeping territory safe, but not many. That's why Indonesia wanted to develop more of the drone and also unmanned aircraft, actually, and also the submarine. And actually, a year ago, one of the professor from Malang asked me whether whether I'm interested in writing a article about the submarine, which is unmanned submarine, because Indonesia is very much interested in having unmanned submarine. And I got a link. 10 years ago, Korea sold 10 submarine to Indonesia. And Indonesia has been developing submarine using that technology, analyzing what's inside of the submarine. And now Indonesia is making this video. I don't think this is going to play it properly. However, let me show you the picture. I think you can read the Indonesia, right? So this is an Indonesian model of a submarine, KSOT-008 is on the left side. This is a submarine Indonesia is developing. And Indonesia is developing with the unmanned one. See how exciting is you have your own power developing weapon. However, let's see. Let's go to the what's the Indonesia's power? You have to know. Military power ranking in 2025, United States is a number 1, Russia number 2, China number 3, India, South Korea at 5th, UK 6, France, Japan, Turkey, Italy, Indonesia 13. That means Indonesia government is very much interested in developing unmanned aero also submarine weapons, right? And that's why you have to know this topic, because your government is very much interested in making your power more powerful. Okay? And now you see the geographic location. I will show you. This is upside down map. Do you see this? Korea is upside down. South Korea is at the up and North Korea is a bottom. And this person is from the United States. And this map has been used to educate the military personnel in Korea how the location of Korea is important. Let me show you the connection from this geographic to Indonesia. This is a kilometer from South Korea to Russia. To Vladivostok, 805 kilometer. To Beijing, 985 kilometer. To, of course, North Korea is very close, 254. Closer than Busan. This is how the United States want to control Russia, China, North Korea, and next picture, you see, they want to control the Southeast Sea. They can link to the Philippines, and next map, they link to the South Sea. This is also upside down map. Do you see Indonesia here? See, this is how the military power is linked to from South Korea to Indonesia. And what are they using? They are using unmanned aircraft to reach to South Sea. And we have to know what is the problem, what can be the problem, and how can we solve the problem. If there is any new development, we like to also know how can we protect those the problems not to happen. Okay, so this is also for your territorial protection. Okay, and besides, market is responding, making decoy also. We saw the real weapon. Now, companies are making fake weapons. And this is called the decoy. Have you heard about the decoy? This is called the dummy military equipment. Here, this is a balloon. This is a balloon. And aviation government department, they want to control. Do you think they can control the balloon? They say this is under my authority. Hey, balloon is like a child thing. And they want to control that? If it is relate to the military target, they also are interested in having balloon as their scope. And this is their military scope. I ask you, do you think these are legal? Can anybody answer? Do you think this making a balloon tank, balloon jet is illegal? Anybody can answer that. I will be very happy. Answer this. Yes. This dummy military equipment is very much okay. And next slide, we'll see how marketable it is. Why it is legal is this is not lethal to the human life. That is why the humanitarian law, international humanitarian law, which is IHL, makes dummy military equipment okay. Maybe they have a bogus signal, so far okay. But later on, if a small drones, they're jamming the electronic waves signals, then we can have much problems. So you have to know so far this is illegal, but we can make bigger problems later on. We have to discuss whether that's legal or not. So far, this is okay because it's only decoy. And decoy market is growing every day. And this is a prediction. Have you seen the prediction in 10 years? 2025 up to 2034, non-lethal weapon market, which is a decoy market. It's growing every day. And here, all these non-lethal weapon markets are open to the general companies. That means you will see 1, real weapon, 2, you're going to see fake weapons. We have to fight with a real weapon, also decoy weapons. You might see the fake weapons flying over you. That's also possible. And what are the regulations so far? We'll see there is a CCW, certain conventional weapons. This, let me show you the history first. This happened in 1980, starting, they had a problem with the blind weapons, making people eyes blind. So they wanted to block those weapons. So they restricted here protocol 123 they made. I think I made some of the highlights for easier you to see. See, the history began in 1980 and it continuously evolving. 1995, which I think this much you can familiarize. Blinding laser weapons prohibited. they banned it because everybody see this weapon making blind. You see you play with the cats like a red dots, and if you place the laser to the cat's eye can be problematic, right? So those can be the laser weapon, and mine booby traps. Non-international armed conflict has been applied from 2001 using the CCW. Why am I talking? Because this has evolved applied to unmanned aircraft or unmanned any kind of weapons or aircraft or submarine. Those weapon like a system can be applied by using the conventional conventional here we go back to the conventional weapon system, which is a convention on the certain conventional weapons, right? So in abbreviation, we say CCW. So this has been long time ago, since 1980, and they evolved during World War II. They been thinking about it, and then they started using this 1980. They developed, but suddenly we didn't have any warfare during that time, 1980. So because many countries started making independent movement, international society has a different flow. However, they're still concerned about the weapon use afterwards. That is why 1980 they started talking about this CCW, certain conventional weapons. In 1995, because every country wanted to win any of the war, after World War II, still many countries developing weapons. The importance of 1995 is this was the first instant weapon being preemptively banned. Do you see here? Many of the countries don't have any restriction when they develop weapon. This is only time CCW in 1995 they had preemptively banned developing weapon. This is only time. Blinding laser weapon has been prohibited before finishing developing. We have to think about this example as a preventing problematic weapon. 1995. After that, we couldn't prevent it. We discussed it here. Ottawa Treaty mine booby traps failed to achieve total mine ban. However, they blocked having stronger mine, so they cannot use too much strong mine in the war. And then 2001, CCW is one of the best convention they use in international society, preventing too much strong weapon to be developed or not too much suffering happen because of this convention. Otherwise, we might have so much suffering without this convention. Okay, and non-international armed conflict means domestic armed conflict, which is international armed conflict means A and B country fight each other. Non-international armed conflict means domestically South Korea and North Korea fight each other. This is a non-international armed conflict. If you think about this is a one country. Okay, and this is relating to the all this new weaponry system. And however, 2021, actually 2013, starting to fade away, no more agreement. Because every country wanted to develop more. They didn't agree. That is why 2019, they stopped. No more agreement using CCW is possible. So they gave up. 2019, they gave up. However, they agreed on, sorry. Oh, where did it go? They agree on 11 principles. So these are the principles they agree on, which means IHL, which is a humanitarian law, continuously apply to any of the development of a weapon system. That's what you have to remember. IHL apply to any of the weapon system in the future to all weapon system. So when you think about the unmanned or manned or maybe not even the unmanned, it can be just signal controlled, maybe mind controlled, any of the weapon system IHL applies. That's a very important part. Other things you can, this very logical conclusion. So we can go back. So this is the weapon system that after all, this stopped. And then what happened is a UN resolution. They said, this is the first thing. Artificial, highlighted the yellow one, artificial intelligence in the military domain and its implication for international peace and security. Resolution is the only and first artificial intelligence related to resolution in UN report. So they gave up convention. Later on, they set a new group. Let's talk about in a small group. And they came up with a resolution because we need a rule for the AI development. And we couldn't do it in a UN convention methods. They made a new group discussion and they come up with a resolution. So this is the first one, artificial intelligence military domain, and they wanted to have international peace and security. That is what the UN is for. UN is there to protect our peace, international peace, right? Yeah. So this is weapon use. I prepared lots of videos, but Dum Dum Bomb, let me show you. You might think of bullets are made in the factory. Not really. Bullet can be made manually in a local, very small area. So you have to make every personnel to understand making wrong weapon is not legal. That is important. And here is Dum Dum Bar. Let me show you Dum Dum Bar. When you see many of the movies or the CNN or BBC, there are many people with one leg. Why do you think that is? This is a Dum Dum bullet. If you see the screen here, the general average not Dum Dum bullets just go penetrate and pass. And you can survive passing it. You can just hold the hole. This Dum Dum bullet becomes, this one goes like this and opens up inside of your muscle. So making your muscle blow away. You totally have to lose your leg. This is expanding bullet. We call it Dum Dum bullet. And this has been 1899 banned, but still used in the war zone. That is a big problem. So here we have actually the 4 principles in the IHR. Just remember, simply I go first thing, principle of distinction. You have to distinguish. We talked about before, combatant and civilian. Number 2, principle of proportionality. Although military need to attack, military personnel has to think about the civilian damage. So keep the balance. And whether this is really the military advantage is a big, they attack. However, damage has to go down. That's a principle of proportionality. Very easy. Number 3 is unnecessary suffering. You have to prohibit unnecessary suffering. So the one we're talking about, unmanned aircraft, is relating to unnecessary suffering. We should not have unnecessary suffering because of the unmanned aircraft weapon. Here in 1846, protecting wounded and sick soldiers, this is ICIC library picture. In the middle, this is you see people are wearing the mask, banning chemical weapon picture. On the right one, Polish Red Cross suggested this picture, preventing genocide. These are all about unnecessary suffering. Genocide, we don't need to kill everybody. In the middle, we don't need a poison to kill other side. The first one, we don't need to kill or attack wounded and sick. That person is already sick. Unnecessary suffering. Number 4 is precaution. We should give a constant care and give a warning sign. This is also relating to the unmanned aircraft. When their drone comes, there should be warning. So civilian can run away. And also the warning has to be keep given. Constant care. So this is a rule. What is a rule? Constant warning has to be given to the people who can escape. And warning has to be given before drone shows up. That is a principle of precaution. Only 4 principles you have to think about it when you think about unmanned aircraft. 4 principles, and we can have just one question shortly. This is do you see this North Korea send trash balloons to South Korea, and many of the balloon has been found in Seoul because Seoul is very closer to North Korea. Didn't see it in Busan, so the question comes: what if this contains chemical weapon? Drone can have a chemical weapon. Drone can have a poison. Drone can have anything. Payloads, right? So this is our question. 4 principles here. Distinction. Because this trash balloon cannot distinguish combatant from civilian. When they send the balloon, they cannot distinguish. The balloon cannot distinguish. The precaution. There's no warning sign of arrival of a trash balloon. And also principle of proportionality, military advantage over, there was no damage of civilians. So this principle in this particular case don't have to apply. The principle of prohibition of the infliction of unnecessary suffering. There was no damage by the balloon. However, the car has been damaged. The street has been has to be cleaned. Those are the one, but there was no suffering. It doesn't apply. So simply, when we think about unmanned aircraft, out of 4, we have to make a unmanned aircraft using the principle of distinction. So this machine has to be able to distinguish combatant to civilian. This machine has to give warning before attack to the civilian drone. And this, when anybody, non-state actors, state actors use unmanned aircraft, they need to think about whether they really need this weapon. Can we just use the traditional weapon instead of unmanned aircraft? So that's a principle of proportionality. And if we have a certain chemical on top of the aircraft, are we going to cause too much damage to the person, unnecessary suffering? Only 4 things you think about it. And anybody developing weapons have to think about these 4 principles. So this is a moving from the very basic 4 principles, and we arrive at the last moment, unnecessary suffering. This can make us suffer a lot. So that's the problem. And anybody can guess what this means? At the beginning of drone development, everybody say no to the drone. Military drone was objected by everybody. They said itself, as such, no. Now we are at the stage 2. Drone is okay, but how it is used, the problem. So basically, we accepted drone attack. What if we haven't accepted a drone attack? That question has gone already. How it is used, including Obama, he said the drone is okay. So how is it used is the problem now. That is the issue. And that's my issue, objective from unmanned aircraft weapons.
Okay.
So, yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Park. Thank you for such an interesting explanations. Okay, all of the students in here, is there any question to Prof. Park? Apakah akan ada yang bertanya,
I
teman-teman
have a
mahasiswa?
question.
Okay, please, Sergio.
My name is
Yeah.
Sergio. Okay, and now I will ask about how can smaller or developing countries protect themselves from AI-based warfare?
AI-based warfare. We have under the UN Charter, we can protect our territory using military base. But you want to know whether Indonesia can protect citizen from AI weapons?
Yeah.
Indonesia is a military power 13 high-level country. Indonesia is possible to attack them. You can attack back because it is a self-defense. But AI, you mean the AI may target you, so Indonesia may not or cannot protect citizens?
I mean, there's another country that doesn't have a great AI enough, so how they can protect themselves?
AI weapons so far is only controlled by men, by human. So human is responsible for controlling the weapons, and humans are not trained to attack the object that is not supposed to attack. And your if is on a condition they are going to attack without distinction. But they are not supposed to attack civilian unless that the target is a combatant. But the question is kind of mixed. Is Indonesia possible to protect our citizen because Indonesia is not fully enough developed in AI military weapons? If your question is that Indonesia is a developing AI, let me show you AI developing. Why is my screen is not moving properly? However, let me go. Let me show you. This is Indonesia here. This is all AI equipped machine that the Indonesia government is developing. You can type this model number. You can see how the Indonesia government is well developing AI equipped machines, weapons. So my answer can be, first, any country with an AI machine and weapon cannot attack the other country's citizen without proper authority because they are banned. Cannot attack civilian. And if they attack combatant, that should be the same as a general warfare. And AI is not going to attack civilian. And if AI, their own decision, attack other countries' territory, still CCW prohibits that AI to be used. If AI has been used to attack other country without proper authority, then AI is going to be abandoned, which means that machine is going to be thrown away. So your scenario is actually not possible so far from the theory. From theory, if AI is actually attacking the other party, how can you prevent them to attacking it or protection? You can. Second answer is self-defense. Of course, UN allow you to have self-defense.
And Miss, sorry, and who is legally responsible if an AI cause civilian casualties?
Controller.
Okay.
So who give authority or the commanding it? Commanding power has the responsibility. So who types it? Maybe it can be the typing, it can be the verbal expression. Those who commands have a responsibility. But thing is, I think your question is kind of interesting because you see many of the news like a small bug, like a fly, pretending to be the fly, but actually is a killer robot.
Yes.
Killer robot is used by the another country to kill or target. Like we see in Gaza, the one of the cell phone exploded, remotely controlled by the Israel. That was a kind of case that AI has been used to attack the person in the Hamas. That is a illegal attack. But so that is why, if your question is how can we protect ourselves from those kind of attack, is self-defense. In that case, you can proportionally attack back that much.
Yeah, but maybe it can be easily detect if another country send a bug as
Yeah.
unmanned aircraft. Yeah.
Yeah, aircraft can be very detectable, but they can make it better smaller these days. And also they can make like a balloon though. So that is developing. And the last slide, that is why I ask you, I need your new ideas, because your idea make a new weapon. When you make a weapon, you have to think about 4 rules. Otherwise, you can make lethal weapons very easily.
Okay, Prof. Park, we have 2 more questions in the chat box. The first question in here, how the use of drones has already become an issue, and how about the use of drone across national borders, especially when they are used as weapons? Is there any international law regulating that issues? And the next question is, why is there concern about killer war robots, and what percentage of South Korean reject their existence? Maybe you may answer about this, Prof.
Yeah, so yeah, you from how's the use of drone? I cannot see fully, but how they have already become an issue. How about the issue of drone across the national? So actually, 4 days ago, Russia and China conducted a military uh, cooperational the performance, and then they passed the South Korean territory. That become the big issue, and they're discussing it now. So this can happen. So crossing the border using the drone can also, the one I gave you the simple case to remember, the United States Federal Aviation Administration case in 2011. So now each domestic aviation administration is covering domestic use of aircraft. So crossing the drone, it is governed by International Civil Aviation Treaty. Because drone, we saw the definition, use of the airlift. Whatever has been used using the air, it is covered by International Aviation Treaty. So crossing the border is covered by the Aviation Treaty. And next question is this?
Is there any international law regulating the issue? I mean, it's been the aviation regulation, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the next question, why is there concern about killer war robots? And what percentage of South Korean reject their existence?
Well, I'm not sure of these days. The survey has conducted in 2024, last year. This year, because we passed the impeachment process, everybody kind of carried away with the impeachment process, thinking that we have to protect ourselves individually. The government is not protecting ourselves. So maybe killer war robots possible scenario. And in these days, North Korea's government can attack because we had a big process of impeachment. During the process, we had a big worry about who's protecting South Korea, because president is now on the process impeachment. and we didn't have any president, then we were thinking, oh my gosh, we need to protect ourselves. What if the North Korea comes down? And this issue is a part of any of the killing happened by the of another object, including killer war robots. So the percentage of people in a survey objected having killer war robots. Of course, we don't have any robot. This robot uh, cannot control themselves. So the technology has not been developed fully. That is also second problem. That is why people are objecting to it. Are you agree on having killer robot? One uh maybe the person who agree on having war robot is that the military personnel don't need to go directly to kill the person. Robot can kill the person, then we can save the human because a robot is going to do the job. So in that case, we might want to have a robot to kill maybe the head of North Korea, so we may have a full peace at the end. So that's a good scenario. That's a good scenario case.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe in a few more years, the national defense should more recruit the technicians of AI, Prof, rather than army, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 years ago, I went to Indonesia, Batam, and I met the person from immigration office. He said Indonesia covers whole territory of ocean because Indonesia is open to ocean. They need so many ports to see
Yeah.
whether from outside to inside, and people are going outside. The population is a number 4 in the world, and they
Yeah.
have to control everything. And he said we are lacking many sources. So drone can be very good source of control by the Indonesian government. I see
Exactly.
in near future, Indonesia will have so many drones and also so many problems relating to drones.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a good issue for all of the students in here to think more about the AI unmanned aircraft. Yeah, to develop the national security and also to develop the regulation related to it also.
So you
Okay,
might want,
students, if
yeah.
mhm. Yeah, to all of the participants, is there any other question who would like to ask to Prof Park? You may deliver your questions directly. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for staying that late night. Thank you guys. I know
Yeah.
students are really exhausted, but kind of forced to listen.
We also thank you, Prof Park, still joining us in this late night in South
Thank
Korea
you for
there. Yeah, and this issue is interesting and very, very up to date. I think all of the students in here, most of them keen on uh, a certain game in online game, and I think this issue is much related to the development of weapon in games, and now on we apply it in reality.
Yeah, actually, this issue is relating to the tariff export too. So, but I couldn't cover that topic. However, this weapon system is a whole new world, and I'm kind of very happy that Indonesia is 13 in defense power, so you can cover the whole South Sea area.
Mm-hmm. So, any other questions, students? No? Okay. I think the explanation from Prof. Park already clear enough, and hopefully we can conduct another meeting, another lecture to discuss about it more, Prof, since this issue is a very, very new issue and rarely been discussed in Indonesian legal systems. But of course, although this issue isn't uh, discussed in most of scholars in Indonesia, I think this is very serious issue that should be settled and should be governed by our government to protect the national security and also the Indonesian people. And since there's no more question, may I close this session, Pak Dodik?
Yes, thank you, Bu Ratna. Please close the session. Professor Park, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and thank you,
Before we
students.
close this
We have
session,
around 94
uh,
students now, almost
Wow.
100.
yeah,
Thank you very much.
You're
yeah.
welcome.
Before we close it, Prof. Park and Pak Dodi and all of the students, please open your camera, please. We will have a photo shoot
Oh, I
session.
see.
Yeah, for the documentations, please open your camera to all of the students in here. And
Maybe
the photo session will be part of the evidence
Yes,
of your attendance in
teman-teman.
this night.
should I just let everything go?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Maybe it's better if you turn down the share screen so that we can have a picture.
Yeah. So once again, to
Oh,
all of the participants, please
Ayo,
open your
anak-anak,
camera.
kita on kamera dulu ya.
Yeah.
Or
so
disabled by
I
the
choose
host.
공유 중지? Is
Oh,
it better?
just wait. Just wait.
Okay.
Oke, yuk. Pada hidupin yuk. Nah, ada pada hidup. Oh, alah ternyata
Now
pada hidup.
I see the all the
Please
faces.
open
Good to see you
Ya,
your camera
guys.
and
alhamdulillah.
give your
Yes.
best smile.
Nah,
Ah,
oke, Mas
Sheila.
Afik, dibantu dong. How to
Ah,
say
we
one,
are
two,
still
three
monitoring,
in
Prof.
Korea? Ada yang
Satu,
bisa
dua,
bantu nggak?
tiga.
1, 2, 3. Ini Korea.
Satu,
How
dua,
in
tiga.
Korea?
하나,
Ya,
둘, 셋.
ya.
사랑해요.
Oke. Ya,
사랑해요.
sarangyo, sarangyo. Ya,
뀨뀨.
oke.
사랑해요.
오,
Ya, oke. Thank
number
you.
one
Oke.
Indonesia.
Okay.
Bye-bye, Profesor.
Thank you, Professor
Ya,
Bye.
Park. See
Thank
you.
you
Bye
very
bye.
much.
Thank you so much,
bye.
Thank you
Prof.
very
Okay,
much,
Bu
Prof.
Ya,
Aroma.
Bu Aroma,
Thank you
bye-bye.
so
Yes.
Terima
much.
kasih, Bu
Thank
Aroma. Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Thank you,
Yeah,
Hayu
I
you.
think we also
Purso.
have some joint degree students from, I think we have Bonnie and others, right? Where is Bonnie? Bonnie, kamu di
Bonnie, you
mana?
have an exam tomorrow.
But she's joining now. Okay.
See you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye
a
bye.
lot,
Ya,
Prof. Park.
Mas, bisa di
Bye-bye.
stop, Mas.
Assalamualaikum
Afik,
warahmatullahi.
ya.
Waalaikumsalam.